Looking at the search console, at least you people have understood now how to manage your way through the clicks, average position, CTR, etc. Right? Now, once you have received this from the average position, you also got the ranking of the individual keywords from search console. Okay, I missed that. Let me go back to search console. In search results, you had the queries. And if you had clicked on average position, it would give you the average position of those keywords, right? Now, for the purpose of our analysis over here, what we are going to do is we are going to take these positions as the ranking positions. Or you could also capture the rankings on a manual basis as of now if you're not using any paid tools. Okay. Now, once you receive this particular ranking positions of the keyword, what you're going to do is I'm going to help you with this particular template of the sheet. You will put the keywords which you want to track in the keyword section. You will use the search volume. This was already one of your assignment in the previous few weeks. Maybe you will take your own set of keywords. You'll put that search volume also. And now for those set of keywords, you're going to track the ranking of these keywords on a week-on-week basis for the next few weeks, right? So what you will do is you'll put the ranking of those keywords, whatever it may be, over here. In the subsequent week, you will add one column ahead and again put the rankings. So after a few weeks, what will happen is, let's say after 3 weeks, you will get the rankings like this, that, hey, my previous ranking was 100 for this particular keyword called search engines, then it improved to 65, then it became 75, something like this for yourself. Then it is the rankings of your competitor one. You will check the rankings of the same keywords. Now, your competitor rankings is not something which you'll get from Search Console, but you will have to manually check the rankings for a few weeks of your competitor one. Usually, when you are in the real life situation, this would not be the case. You will not have to do it manually. You will have enough number of tools through which this could be done. Tools like SEMrush, Ahref, etc. can help you with this kind of rankings, right? So you'll get the rankings of yourself and the competitors and put it into the sheet. Why are we doing this? Because you need to learn analysis, ranking analysis. You need to learn that, and that's the reason we are getting into this details, right? So what you're doing is you're feeding some data. Do it for 5 keywords. Let's say I'm fine with that. You don't even need to do it for 10 keywords, but do it for those many keywords so that you start understanding that, hey, what is the analysis part which a search engine optimizer has to do, right? So once you put it on this particular sheet, I'm going to give you the template as well, and that would be available on the Growth School platform. So you will have to just download the sheet, make a copy version of for yourself, and then update it on Google Sheets. Right? So once you do this particular thing, what will happen is you should be able to see that there are some keywords which have improved in ranking, right? In the status over here, you saw improved. Some are stable, some are dropped in terms of ranking, right? So if the ranking moved from 77 to 72, it's an improved ranking, right? Some are stable, remain constantly on 100, or some have improved from 65, something like that would be available. Sorry, those numbers are not matching, but yeah, the source sheet would have proper formula. So you can use that particular thing, or else let's go to the source sheet itself and understand whether formulas are correct or not over here. Okay, 6 to 5 became an improvement, 5 to 2 became an improvement. Yeah, so here it is perfectly fine. The formula is good, and this is a sheet which I'm sharing with the Growth School team, right? So this particular sheet, when you get it, you will make a copy of it by doing, say, file, make a copy, and then you will use it to fill your own data of your own website. Okay. Once you do this, you know that, hey, there are some keywords which have improved the ranking. Now, what do we do with the keywords where the rankings have improved? For the keywords where the ranking has improved, we will understand the changes that helped to improve the rankings. So we'll go one level deeper and try to understand how the rankings improve. Little complicated, but wait for the next screen. For the keywords which are stable, what we are going to do is implement those changes which we understood that, hey, this changes help me improve the ranking. I'll implement those changes on the keywords which are stable to improve the ranking of these keywords as well. And then there would be some keywords which have dropped in ranking. So again, over there, you would have to analyze that, hey, what happened? Why did the rankings drop for this set of keywords? And you will have to take corrective actions on that particular set of keywords. Okay, but Kaushal, we don't know how do we understand what changes happened on the website. Okay, so there's a big how in between that slide and this slide. So again, start asking the questions. What were the changes in the Google ecosystem? Did Google come up with any algorithmic change because of which your website is getting impacted? You may look at it and say that, hey, no, nothing major. In fact, some of my keywords have gained, some of my keywords have not gained. So it doesn't seem to be the reason. Then ask this question. What were the changes done on your website? Yes, the engineering team made some changes in the previous week, and they did, let's say, changes in a particular section. Let's say on an e-commerce website, they were changing the furniture section, and you saw that the furniture rankings dropped this week. So you know that, okay, these people have done something over there on the website which has impacted the rankings of the furniture section. So then you'll have to go a little deeper and understand how do you handle this particular challenge. So you'll go and do an analysis of your website or study your website on Search Console, understand what happened over there. Is Google suddenly showing you some more errors over there in your Search Console for the furniture related pages? Did they impact only a few keywords or almost all the pages and the keywords? Right? Let's say if the previous question did not answer that question, this could be the next thing which you could ask yourself. That, hey, almost all the pages are not impacted, only the category which was furniture got impacted. So then it's again a clear indication that yes, it could be something because the engineering team was working on the furniture set of pages and they've gone with some release. Now, when your website ranking goes down, you also need to understand which competitors gained the rankings, right? Because if you're observing this particular thing and your rankings went down, competitor ranking gained the ranking, you need to know what they are doing well. Did they do anything well on their website? Because you're closely observing their website also on a week-on-week basis, right? Because you're tracking their rankings, etc. Now you'll also have to see that, okay, what changes did they do on their website? If you feel that, hey, they did not do anything, again, the indication is back to the engineering team, which made some changes on the website. Sorry, the engineers look like a culprit over here, but I'm just trying to build a use case. They are the good people who help us make several changes, better changes related to SEO on the website. So it's no intention to do that, but yes, to at least come at a conclusion, we are trying to do that. If several industry players lost, which websites gained? It's sometimes quite possible that all the industry players, let's say you're tracking yourself and the competitors and all of them lost. Now, in that case, you know that, okay, this entire industry lost, which website gained? I'll give you an example. So many times what happens is, let's say, let's take the case of e-commerce websites, right? So you have this e-commerce marketplace websites, and then you have this websites where you can find reviews of something on e-commerce store. Now, sometimes when we see this entire industry players losing the rank, we see that, okay, the review websites where you can see reviews of some particular products or some blogs, suddenly, which are very popular, they started gaining the ranks. So you know that, hey, something Google is doing some tweaks or playing with the ranking system, and that's something which is creating an impact over here. Do these ranking changes show a similar pattern, right? So you'll have to start understanding the patterns also over here. A bit of data analysis is needed. But yes, are the ranking changes showing a similar pattern that, hey, all the rankings which we are seeing is, let's say they're increasing by a few positions. Then it's showing a very similar pattern. What can be done to improvise the rankings based on this understanding? Now, that's the question which you need to ask that, okay, some of these things can be improvised. So maybe in the previous example which we were speaking of, let's say if you felt that, hey, engineering team did some change, and then fortunately you found something on the Search Console which became broken, which was working earlier. You'll rush to the engineering team and tell them that, hey, see, this thing got broken while you are fixing it. Let's try to fix it again and improvise the rankings. Okay, so that's a little bit of analysis and how would you perform an analysis. So lots of questions to be asked, but see, analysis is not something which I can explain you theoretically in a great manner, but I tried my best to give you an example of what could be done. But yes, these questions are important. Since this is a recorded session, you can definitely come back to this video, look at those questions, jot them down, and then proceed further with the self-learning. Okay, so first thing which we are going to do in this particular self-learning is to find the domain authority of your website from Moz. Kaushal, you're not taught us this. Yes, I know, but I won't be able to teach you 100% of SEO on everyday basis, right? You will have to do some things by yourself. This is an important thing and a very easy thing. You have to go on Moz, search for domain authority, put the domain name, and you'll get the domain authority. So it's as simple as that, but please start exploring. Self-practice 1.5.2, get access to Search Console, right? And I'm very clear over there, you need Search Console if you have to move ahead. So you have to get access to Search Console. I don't know what methods you try for that. If it's not available, build your own website, a free website, write some gibberish language over there. I'm fine with that, but build at least 1 or 2 pages on that particular website and connect it with a Search Console. It's pretty easy. If you do try to do it, please experiment. Okay, next thing in self-learning, what you're going to do is use that ranking template to create the ranking analysis sheet of your own website. If you already have a website, you're going to use your own website itself to create the ranking template for your website. And how you're going to do it, where will you get the ranking from? If it's an existing website which is already ranking, you have connected it with the Search Console, you'll get the ranking data for some of the keywords from Search Console itself. Take that keyword ranking data, put it on that sheet. And then you will track and update the rankings for the next few weeks, at least for the next 6 weeks. When we are going through this course, you're tracking those rankings, right? However, let's say if your website is not ranking for any keywords, you don't get any data in Search Console, what are you supposed to do? In that case, take any website on the internet which you like, which is a popular website, manually track the rankings for that particular website for the next 6 weeks. Take any 5-10 keywords, whatever is comfortable for you, and track it on a week-on-week basis for the next 6 weeks. And then when you compare this particular rankings week on week, keep answering the questions which your manager or your investor is going to ask you. You need not answer to anybody else. You need to answer to yourself, all those questions. Okay. For people who have forgotten those questions, these are the questions which we spoke of. I'm not reading it out again, but yes, these are the questions you'll start asking yourself, and that will prepare you for the actual life of an SEO analyst, right? And it will make you better at SEO. So please do these assignments well, and I look forward to seeing you all in the coming week. Thank you. If you have any doubts, please wait for the Q&A day, or you can also tweet me on Kaushal_T. Thank you.